James for the untouchable, true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so this is a really intriguing fight coming into the fight, and the fight played out very well. I thought it was a very entertaining fight for as long as it lasted between Zhang, Big Bang, and Agit Kabayel. So let's talk about it, man. It's because you have Zhang, who has kind of been an up and down fighter. He lost to Hergovich in a controversial fight. He knocked out Joe Joyce twice. He knocked out Wilder. He lost to Parker. So he's been all over the place. He had that fight with Jerry Forrest years ago where he dropped him 3 times and then let the guy win all the rounds, and there was a draw. So he's been all over the place. We know what he is. We know that he's a big time power puncher with an incredibly poor gas tank. He's a 6-round fighter. And that's why he loses a lot of these fights, because and you can't really blame Zhang, right? Because Zhang is 6'9", 270 plus pounds, so that's a lot of mass as a human being to carry around, and so that's why he fatigues. But a very interesting fight, because Agit Kabayel, he was one of these heavyweights over the years that have been overlooked, one of these like mid-level heavyweight contenders who's really good, but could never get the fights before Turki Usyk to prove what he really was as a fighter. And again, guys, I'm going to say something positive about Turkey, so feel free to clip this video. Everybody always hears when I say things negative about Saudi. Here's something positive about Saudi in Turki Usyk. I feel like a guy like Agit Kabayel has been the biggest winner in all this. The guys like him and Martin Bakoli, these mid-level heavyweight contenders who are really good, very dangerous, but they don't have the incentive for the top guys, the money makers, the shot callers of the division to want to fight unless they're the mandatory challengers. So he's been afforded that chance to have an actual career and take the right fights at the right time because of Turki Usyk. So it's not all bad. I'm not a hater. I tell the truth, right? So with that being said, and with that firmly being established here on True School Sports, let's talk about the fight. I thought Kabayel was very consistent in this fight. Working behind this jab and closing the gap, and then when he would get to the body, and close that distance on Zhang, he did a great job of placing his shots to the body, hurting Zhang, and taking the gas out the tank early in the fight, making those early investments that always pay off in the latter parts of a fight. Now, in the 5th round, Kabayel had a defensive lapse, and Zhang hit him with a straight left hand and put him on his ass, just like he's done to everybody else. Just like he's done to Hergovich, just like he's done to Joyce, just like he's done to Wilder, Parker, and pretty much damn near everyone he's fought. He's a hard guy to fight, whether you win or lose, and not get dropped by him, because he is such a big fighter. He's a power punching southpaw. He's got great timing. He can counter punch. He's a tough out for anybody, right? But he got dropped. Now, what I really thought was impressive about Kabayel was after he got dropped in the 5th round, he got right back up, and he acted like nothing happened, and he's got back to what he was doing in all the other rounds. Close the gap, get to the body, and really just suck the wind out of Zhang with those that really intelligent, really consistent body work, right? And by, I think it was like the latter part of the 5th round, or some point in the 5th round, Kabayel actually had Zhang doubled over from a body shot, and the referee kind of got in the way and delayed it for some reason, even though Zhang wasn't dropped or anything. And then he gave Zhang extra time to recover. So I thought that was pretty corny on his part, but no harm, no foul. Nothing bad happened, because no controversy happened, thankfully, because it would have been a bigger topic if Kabayel would have got knocked out like in a round or 2 later. But luckily, nothing bad happened, because Kabayel came in the 6th round. And he wound up sticking with that consistent body attack and stopping Zhang to the body, right, in the 6th round. So Kabayel, he runs his record up to a now very impressive, 26-0 with 18 knockouts. He is one of the top contenders in heavyweight boxing. And if you want to just be real, he's now one of the most legitimate contenders in heavyweight boxing. You look at his last 3 fights. You look at like him beating Arslanbek Makhmudov, who was a highly regarded prospect at that time. Then going ahead and beating up on Frank Sanchez, who a lot of fighters didn't want to fight, beating him up. Now you're talking about Big Bang Zhang, who's fought the who's who of the division, who's fought Joyce and Hergovich and Parker and Wilder, and a lot of those guys are big time punchers, and they didn't even look, they didn't even beat the brakes off Zhang like this. So it is a statement victory. And as far as I'm concerned, I know he's more than likely not, he's not going to get a title shot just because of the landscape. Like Dubois has to fight Parker because of what happened with Dubois pulling out. So I get that. Can't fault him for that. And then Usyk, I mean, who knows what Usyk's going to do? Usyk's talked about going out a cruiserweight. You know, Usyk could fight maybe the winner of Dubois versus Parker. Maybe that's his next opponent. Who knows? But I feel like Kabayel has earned himself a big fight. So, as far as Kabayel, I would say, like, he probably won't get it. But I feel like he's a guy that deserves an Anthony Joshua fight. You know, Anthony Joshua is at the latter stages of his career. But I remember, right? I remember because with the way this channel is structured, I cover boxing on a daily basis. I go to boxing scene. You know, I'm in the gyms. I'm doing interviews. You know, I'm all over the place with boxing, right? And that being said, you know, I retain a lot of information because of how I cover boxing, you know, on a day-to-day basis. And I remember, like, back in, like, 2017, 2018, them days, reading boxing scene articles about, you know, Anthony Joshua next opponent. And I'd always see Agit Kabayel's name mentioned in there, you know, but I don't know why the fights couldn't happen. Maybe his promoters didn't feel that it was the right time or the right deals or the right numbers weren't presented. Who knows? Maybe they were maybe they were protecting him because they didn't feel he was ready. Who knows, right? But the reality is he has now fought himself into the position of becoming one of the most legitimate contenders in heavyweight boxing, and I feel like he's earned an Anthony Joshua fight. If not Anthony Joshua, I mean, as far as big fights, there's not a whole lot of big fights available because of the landscape of the division. So if it's not Anthony Joshua, I would say maybe Martin Bakole, who just came off a tough loss. Maybe he could fight an in-shape Martin Bakole, and that could be a way for Bakole to rebound from this Parker fight because Bakole looked like he just came for the check, for being honest, you know, with the conditioning and whatnot. So maybe Bakole. And then, you know, Philip Hergovich, you know, he's been pretty quiet recently for the last, like, 9 months on social media, but he just posted the other day on Instagram, basically telling everybody that he's been training hard, and you know, he congratulated Daniel Dubois for the win and those kind of things. So he said he's gonna fight soon. His comeback fight soon is coming soon. So if Hergovich can get active, get in the win column, I wouldn't mind seeing Kabayel versus Hergovich. I feel like that's a good fight. You know, Hergovich is still in my opinion a top 10 heavyweight. There's not a whole lot of big names in the division for Kabayel to fight. So unless he's getting an Anthony Joshua fight, I feel like the next best option out there for him is Hergovich. Or maybe maybe Moses Itama. If they want to step Moses Itama up, that could be an option for him because Moses has been saying he wants a step-up fight. So those are like realistic options, in my opinion, for Kabayel. But I would like, honestly, I'll be honest, those are all cool fights, but I feel like he's been showing and proving so much that he deserves something better than that. He deserves a big fight. So I would like him to fight Anthony Joshua because I feel like he's earned the fight with his last 3 fights in such a short period of time. I mean, you're looking at Kabayel, he fought Makhmudov in December of 2023. So we're in February now. So we're talking about in a 15-month span, less than a year and a half, he's fought and defeated Frank Sanchez, Makhmudov, and Zhang, and he's beat them all by stoppage, and none of those fights have gone past the 7th round. So he's not just beating these guys who are high level, but he's taking these high level contenders, and he's beating them with the fights not even going into the second half of the fight. He's one of the most dominant contenders in the division right now, so that should be rewarded, and it should be rewarded with the Anthony Joshua fight. So, you know, leave your comments down below. What do you guys think? What did you guys think of the fight? As far as Zhang, I don't know how much longer Zhang has left in boxing. He's in his 40s. I feel like the only fight left for him that I would like to see him versus Wilder. You know, Wilder hasn't retired. I feel like Wilder and Zhang would be a lot of fun. They're 2 big power punchers. They're both, you know, towards the end of their careers. Why not? Be fun, you know. But other than that, I think, you know, we've seen the best of Zhang already. So, you know, he's towards the end. But I respect him, and I've always loved watching him fight. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you click right over here.